Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to another Live Purposefully Now live broadcast for another Mindfulness Monday. Today is going to be the second part of a series called Spiritual Truth. And each Monday for the next few weeks, I'll be sharing a spiritual truth with you. Hopefully. I missed last Monday because I had some terrible challenges with my teeth, which left me in pain, and you wouldn't have wanted to see me. So last Monday was a miss, and but here I am today, and I'm planning on being here each Monday for the next few weeks, sharing the spiritual truth. And these are life truths, really, that shape and form our life as it is today. They're life truths that become tools in your hands, tools that you can use to uplift and change your entire future. And if you enjoy this broadcast, if it spoke to you in any way, please do share it. Let's give these tools to others to enable them to change their futures too. At the end of the day, we're all in this together, my lovelies. But first, let me just introduce myself to those who don't yet know me. I am Elle Summer. I am the founder of Live Purposefully Now, a website that I created with the intention of sharing inspiration, motivation, and encouragement to like-minded people so that together we can all learn about and particularly use some of the life truths that I've been studying and practicing for close to 30 years now. I hate to say that, it's a long time. But the reason for this is that no matter what circumstances you're currently experiencing, you always have tools to support you through any adversity and to help you live the best life possible. So it seemed like a good plan to put some of these spiritual truths that I write about into a different form. And so here we are. We're on Facebook Live, and I'm sharing spiritual truths. And the second one, the one I'll be sharing today, is your life is a revealer. I know that sounds a bit weird, but you'll understand in a little while. But before I begin, I just want to acknowledge the wonderful like-minded souls who are here right now. I'm going to start with Jenny White. Jenny is the one who keeps my Facebook page running smoothly. And honestly, without this beautiful soul in my world, my page would vanish in a puff of smoke. Jenny has her own Facebook page called Strong Heart Awakening. And if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend that you check it out. Let's see who else we have here. Shasta Acosta, Amin, hello, Sammy Correa. Hello to you. Jayo, hey. Let's see, Kelly Felton. Jennifer Croney-Williams, lovely to see you, Jenny. And Debbie Wisecup, hey to you. I think that's all I can see right now. So I'm just going to do what I always do and get on with it. So the second spiritual truth, your life is a revealer. What does that mean? It simply means that your life, our life, my life, reflects back to us the reality of that first spiritual truth. And that first spiritual truth, if you remember, if you saw it, was that you, through your consciousness, are the creator of your reality. Some liken it to a mirror, and from some perspective, it's true. But from a deeper perspective, it's a revealer. It reveals yourself to you. It reveals those inner conversations that become clothed in this objective reality that we all share. And your inner conversations are based on the assumptions that you make, the beliefs you hold, the stories you tell yourself, and we're pretty good at those stories, aren't we? And basically the lens through which you view life. So your entire world experience, your entire world, your entire inner world, I should say, is the foundation for the people that you meet and the experiences that you have. And even the behavior of others reflects your inner stories. It's an amazing system. It's honestly amazing. The more I think about it, and as I put these spiritual truths together, the more amazed I am that our consciousness, through our inner conversations, manifests the reality that we experience. So we get to see even those things that are hidden deep in our subconscious. And this in itself, when I first discovered this, was an amazing discovery for me. And it took me a while of practicing and testing and working, trying to work out how it worked before I became really clear on it. I once went to a seminar by a spiritual guru who talked about the subconscious. And I thought, wow, this is fascinating. And this was many, many years ago. And at the end of it, I stopped and I asked, and I said, so how do we know what our subconscious is doing? And this person turned to me and said, well, we basically don't. Well, hey, I got news for him. Hope he's watching, because yes, we basically do. And what it is that our life is revealing it. And the challenge is that some of the things that we say to ourselves, because they're so deep in our subconscious, we no longer hear them. We've been saying them so long that they become transparent. And so this second law gives us a chance to look at our experiences. And if they're not what we want, they give us another chance to change that consciousness. Even when we can't hear it or see it, by changing the stories we tell ourselves, we change that outer reality. How cool is that? Because your whole world, my lovelies, your whole entire world is yourself pushed out into the physical. And everything in your world, everything that's happening to you today, even you being here right now, every experience, everyone in your life, including me, if you're here right now with me, all the things that you believe, you think about, and you feel, and especially about yourself, they are all pushed out into your physical reality. And the brilliance of this is that regardless of whether it takes one person, 100 people, or even more to bring your inner being out into the world of reality, everyone plays their part. You don't have to ask for, you don't have to give your permission, because your entire world is animated by and through you. So let's think of life as a game. Every game has aims and rules. But unlike games like, football, tennis, does that count as a game? Baseball, where the rules can be changed if everyone agrees to do so, that's not true with the rules of life. They work all the time. We don't get to change them. They work unceasingly. And we can't shout, hey, time out. We can't say, oh, I just need a break. But it's okay, because within that framework, we can still successfully play this game. We can still have fun, and we can still live a wonderful life. And the game that I'm talking about is played in the field of your mind. So the first thing to be aware of is every game has an aim. So what's the aim? What's the purpose of this game? Well, firstly, the aim is to become more aware of what's vitally important in life. And then, once we know what that is and what is vitally important in our life are these spiritual truths, because then we get to achieve our goals and fulfill our desires. And that is the next aim. And one of the major rules of the game is this: as you think in your heart, so you are, and so you experience, and so you have. In other words, we're back again at that first spiritual truth. Everything in our life is a reflection of our consciousness and who you've decided you are. And yes, you have decided this. You might argue, but what about the person who smashed into my car? Or what about that partner who stole from me? How can that be a reflection of me? And the answer is that at some vibrational level, you and your experience are one. Now, I can't tell you what they are. I don't know how it works. I just know it does work, like I know the law of gravity works. And I don't need to know how. I need to know that if I'm up on the roof, I need to be careful not to get too close to the edge, because if I fall off, the law of gravity will plunk me onto the ground. So the thing of it is, we all correspond to every experience that we have, or something in us is probably a better way to say it, corresponds to every experience that we're having or that we've had. Because there is no thing in your world that has a fixed reality independent of you. And that, my lovelies, is the great news. Because if you and your reality are one, then by changing even one simple thought or one little attitude, it has a corresponding effect on this reality that you're experiencing, whatever it might be. And the good news about that is that puts this power smack where it belongs, in your hands, not in that outer world over which we have limited, if any, control. You know, I keep reading this, that even scientists today tell us that they see a mirror of themselves when they're examining the existence and the behavior of particles. They say that what they see depends on their intention and depends on their perspective. And it's the same for this life, because it doesn't matter where you go, you can't escape from you. Moving from city to city won't help. Moving from country to country won't change anything either, because we take this inner being, this inner self with us wherever we go. And changing external circumstances is like changing the furniture in one room of a mansion, or changing the deck chairs on the Titanic, or it's going to sink. Our world can only be permanently changed from within, because that's where it comes from. It's a bit like you look at yourself in a mirror and your hair doesn't look great. So you go to the mirror and you try moving your hair around, fluffing it up. It doesn't work. The only way to change that reflection, that mirror, is to fluff up your hair. And then it will look different in the mirror. And it's the same with this. So we all have the same ability to change our world, and so that it reflects something more wonderful. And to do that, we have to become the gatekeeper of our own thoughts. So we welcome those that create what we want, and we dismiss those that create what we don't want. So we ask ourselves, what do I want? I actually have those words pinned on my computer. They're not pinned up there right now because it covers up the camera, but I have them. What do I want? So every time I sit down to this computer, those are the very first words I see. They're huge. What do I want? Because it's so easy to get distracted and caught up with what's going on online or just generally in life, that we need to be reminded. We need something that reminds us to be focused on these tools that we can use. I even have a little card in my car, or what do I want? So that if I'm getting distracted by the outer world of experiences and things that I've already created, I can go back in. And so what do I want? Well, in order to have something different, we have to use some new stories to tell ourselves that line up with what we want, not those old stories that have created what we don't want, because those old stories that we tell ourselves might not even be ours. I have a little story about my grandson. He's 8, and he tells everybody that he was born in a blizzard. Now, where did he get that story from? Well, I can tell you, he got it from me. Because I used to tell him from when he was tiny how the day that he was born, I took his baby sister out to the grocery store. And at that time, they lived in New York City. And there happened to be a snowstorm this day. And I told him the story that how the wind whipped the snow into my face and how his baby sister was snug as a little bug in her buggy. But there was I trudging through the snow to get groceries for everybody. And this has been translated in his mind into the story, I was born in a blizzard. And that's often how the stories we tell ourselves are created. And eventually, if we never change them, they become an integral part of our existence. But we're no longer consciously aware of them. We don't hear them anymore. And my grandson's story is benign. It's a benign little story. What difference does it make? But what about those stories that are negative? What about those things that we were told about ourselves that tell us that we weren't good enough, that tell us that we weren't smart enough, that tell us that we're just not enough. Or what about those experiences that we had where we began telling our stories that were negative about who we are? And the thing is that we're creating our future by these inner stories, by these inner conversations. And our world is literally revealing to everybody else, if they know enough to look for it, the stories that you've been telling yourself. They're revealed out there for us all to see. I used to do, years and years ago, I did a year-long coaching with Bob Proctor. I don't know whether you know him. He's really a great person to check him out if you haven't seen him or heard of him yet. And he said to me, like one of the very first times over the telephone, that he can talk to somebody and within 2 or 3 minutes, he knows what they're thinking. They'll tell him about his life. And I used to think, what a load of rubbish. But I'm telling you, today, I totally get exactly what he's saying, because this outer world, so our experiences, literally reveal to us and everybody else what we've been saying to ourselves. So begin to observe your thoughts. Look at them from a distance. You don't have to go along with them. In fact, it's important that you don't, because often our thoughts are just thoughts of rubbish. And whatever it is that you want in your outer life, first create your self-talk, create your story around it, because our minds follow our assumptions. You want to be more successful? You must assume you're successful. You want to be respected? You want to be loved? You want to be valued? Assume you are the one who experiences this, because these assumptions change your inner talking. It's a bit like watering your garden. My husband's just planted some flowers. I have a garden, clearly, because I'm British, so I don't have a yard. And so my garden has to be filled with flowers. Obviously, I'm British. We love flowers. Not that other people don't love flowers, but I think that we're particularly fond of our flower gardens. And my husband planted them last week, and he has this little watering system whereby he waters them consistently to support them, to nurture them in their growth. And that's what this is like. It's like watering the garden. We're not watering the weeds. We're watering the flowers. And your mind garden, or a mind garden that is blooming with beauty, comes from the nourishment of your attention on the thoughts and feelings and the beliefs that nurture these heartfelt dreams that you have. So my lovelies, the next time you look into the mirror of your life, don't be disheartened if you're not seeing what you want. Be thrilled, because now you understand that what you see actually speaks most loudly of your ability to create. Okay, so you haven't created the perfect thing that you want right now. But nevertheless, if you've created one thing, you can create anything. And so if you desire something different, take control of the stories you tell yourself. Become the master of your life. And that's the second spiritual truth that you can use to your advantage to create a new future. The second spiritual truth, your life, experiences, people reveal yourself to you, which is brilliant, because now you can change what you don't like. Dear hearts, I hope you start to practice using these spiritual truths in your life. Let me know in the comments how it's working for you, because I check in every now and then on these broadcasts. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, and I do hope that you did, please share it with more like-minded people. Let's help everybody to have these spiritual life truths available to them. And I will be back during the week with a little reminder to help keep us on track towards our brilliant future. If we do that inner work, that little inner work, which isn't much. And next Monday, I'll be here, same time, same place, with the third spiritual truth, all things being equal. Until then, may your week be filled with many blessings. And namaste. I'm just going to stay here a little longer and talk to anybody who has any questions or anybody who has anything to say. Always assuming Facebook is kind and shows me the comments, because it doesn't always do that. So who do we have? Bonnie Cohen, hello. from Ireland. How lovely to see you. Hope the weather's nice. Love Ireland. It's so awesomely green. Laurie Griffin, hello to you. Sherry Schwartz, my life stinks. Oh my Lord, I am so sorry, Sherry. Well, here you go. Here you have something that you can just put into place, just a little something. Choose anything from what I said that might resonate with you and put it into practice every single day. And watch your life begin, even in minute ways, to change. But acknowledge those changes, because it's that acknowledgement that allows bigger and great changes to come to us. It's like gratitude. It's sort of a fuel for the universe. So who else do we have? Mark Corazon Limbo, hey to you. Carla Prophet, my life is sad. Carla, I'm so sorry. But look at it this way. You now have, there's 2 spiritual truths that I've spoken about. If you haven't seen the first one, please do listen to it. And then this one, and choose a couple of things. As I said before, anything, just any little thing that you change in here has a corresponding effect out there. And life won't be so sad and life won't stink. Not so much. At least it was starting to turn that ship around into the direction that you want to go of your great future. Mark Loberg, have a great day. You too. Upasana, involved with the things that soothes our soul. Yes, every day find something that feels good to you and focus on it. Laurie Singletary, hey to you. Kimberly, lovely to see you, my dear. Hoween Nuts, hello to you. Bonnie Dixon, yes, we do by the will. We have the choice. Yes, we absolutely do. R.M. Alexander, hello to you. Lovely to see you. Marge Sissel, hey. Janie Tombas. Excuse me. Nathan, I could be at spiritual peace with a gap like that. Look at your conditioned self. How do I get you off my feed? Well, you just turn me off, Nathan. And my gaffe, as you call it, how do you think it came about? It came about by the changes that I made within. And if you make the changes within, you'll be at peace with different things than I have, because you are uniquely you. I'm sure you're not here any longer, but this might be useful to somebody else. Corinne Metz, hello. Helen, as a bipolar sufferer, my episodes have been confused with spiritual experiences. I wish it could be explained. I am not the person to be able to do that. Helen, I'm not an expert in any of these fields, but what I do when I don't understand something, I just make the assumption that I will get an answer, and I just persist in that assumption until the answer comes to me. And if I can do that, anybody can do that. Kimberly, I love you. I love you right back. Your lives are inspiring and full of truth. Thank you so much. Christy Lee, hello from Minnesota. Deborah Hardin is listening. Dolores Neto, hi to you. Edna, watching from the UK. How's the weather? I hear it's beautiful over there right now. Elizabeth Popilas, watching from Sydney. I've never been there. I'd love to go one of these days. It's not really at the top of my list, so I don't focus on it much, but it's kind of in there. Corey is also bipolar. The downs aren't as deep and the peaks not as high, but being up front with people who support me makes them all a little easier. Wonderful. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you are finding tools that work for you, Corey. Emilia, good evening. Ellen is watching from Edinburgh. Whoa, that's close to the city of my birth, Ellen. One fine day, I'm going to be back and take another visit. It's been too long. Teresa, your words are so spiritual and inspirational. Thank you. That's my plan. I want that. I want to encourage and motivate and support and love. I just want everybody to feel love. Teresa, see you next Monday. Okay. Shasta, hello to you. Patricia Etkin, hello. Sammy, Corey, namaste. I've applied this to my kids. Well, 2 of them say I'm crazy, but I'm fine with that. I teach my grandchildren whenever I'm with them, as their parents do. Jackie from Arkansas, hello to you. Dan O'Donnell, not keen on it, that's okay. We all have our unique places in the world. And so that's it from me, my lovelies. I'm going to love you and leave you and bless your week for another wonderful one. Bye for now. Yes.